ever really, truly stopped to think about what's going on right under your feet? I mean, not just the sidewalk or the grass, but the ground itself. We usually just call it dirt, right? Something you wash off your shoes. Well, today we are going to peel back that surface and uncover a hidden world, a complex, living universe that, believe it or not, makes all life on this planet possible. So let me ask you straight up. When you think of the ground, what pops into your head? Is it just, brown stuff? Something that makes a mess? For most people, that's pretty much where the thought ends. But that's kind of like looking at the entire ocean and just seeing a bunch of water. Because the truth is, the ground is this incredibly busy ecosystem. It's a recycling plant for nutrients, it's a home for millions of organisms, it's a natural water filter, and it's the absolute foundation for the food we eat. So it's not just dirt, it's a living, breathing system. Okay, so if it's not just dirt, then what is it? What's it made of? In this first part, we're going to break down the recipe for soil, the essential ingredients that literally make our planet a living one. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? It's one of the most vital natural resources. Think about that. It's this super thin skin on the Earth's crust that supports, well, everything, from the tiniest blade of grass all the way up to us. Take it away, and the land would be as barren as Mars. So let's look at what's actually in this stuff. It's fascinating. Almost half of it is minerals, just tiny broken down pieces of rock. But here's the part that blows my mind. A full 50% of healthy soil is actually empty space. It's filled with water and air. And that little 5% slice, that's the organic matter. That's the magic ingredient, the decomposed life that gives soil all its power. And every single part has a super important job. The minerals, they're the skeleton, the structure. The organic matter, that's the pantry, full of all the nutrients. The water is like a delivery service, dissolving those nutrients and carrying them to the plant roots. And the gases provide the air that all the tiny critters living in the soil need to breathe. It's this perfectly balanced, interconnected system. Oh, and by the way, this doesn't happen quickly. Not at all. It all starts with solid bedrock. Then, over thousands, and I mean thousands of years, wind, rain, and living things slowly grind it down. Organic stuff gets mixed in, and eventually you get the fertile soil we all depend on. It takes so long to form that for all practical purposes, it's a non-renewable resource. All right, so now that we know what soil is, let's see what it looks like out in the real world. And for that, we're going to take a quick tour of India, which is this amazing case study in just how diverse soil can be. You'll see how climate and geography create these completely different worlds right underfoot. Just look at this map. It gives you a great bird's eye view. You've got the forest soils up in the mountains, the rich river plains, and then the red and black soils of the southern plateau. Every color here represents a totally unique type of soil with its own story. So let's zoom in on a couple of them. First stop, alluvial soil. If you can picture those huge, famous rivers like the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, you're picturing the source of this incredibly rich and fertile soil. This is basically the agricultural engine of India. This soil is loaded with all the good stuff that crops like wheat and sugarcane absolutely love. And because it's so fertile, this is where you see the most intense farming and, no surprise, the highest population densities. This soil literally determines where millions of people live. Okay, now let's jump to a totally different region and check out black soil. This stuff is known for one really cool, very special property. People call it Reggers soil, but you probably know it by its more famous name, black cotton soil. Its superpower is that it's made of superfine clay particles, which makes it like a sponge. It's amazing at holding on to water. But it's also got this weird split personality. When it gets hot and dry, it forms these really deep cracks, which, believe it or not, helps get air down into the soil. And yeah, as the name gives away, it is perfect for growing cotton. You find it all across the Deccan Plateau, and that unique ability to hold water is what makes it so incredibly valuable there. All right, one more stop. Now for something with a bit more color. Let's look at the red and yellow soils, which get their awesome hues from a really simple source. The red color, that just comes from iron mixing into the rock. It's basically rust. And the yellow? That happens when that exact same soil gets wet. It's a simple chemical reaction that paints huge swaths of the landscape with these incredible colors. So we've seen how precious and surprisingly diverse soil is. But here's the thing, This foundation we rely on is incredibly fragile. And now we have to talk about the number one threat it's facing: erosion. What causes it? Well, it's a mix of things. You have natural forces like heavy wind and rain, sure, but the real problem is us. Human activities like deforestation, letting cattle overgraze, and just bad farming practices. They can speed up the process like crazy, stripping the land of its protective cover. And the difference is just wow. Look at this. On the left, you've got a healthy, protected forest floor. And on the right, that's what happens after erosion. The precious topsoil is just gone, washed away, leaving these deep, ugly scars in the land called gullies. This isn't just losing some dirt, it's the death of a living system. The scientific term is denudation, which is really just a fancy way of saying to strip something bare. When that topsoil washes away, the land can become totally useless for growing anything. They become what people quite accurately call badlands. Okay, that was a bit grim, but it's not a lost cause. The story doesn't have to end with a barren planet. There are absolutely proven, effective ways to fight back and protect our soil. So let's talk solutions. And these techniques are all about being smart, about working with nature instead of against it. Things like contour plowing, where you plow along the curve of a hill. Basically create thousands of tiny dams that slow water down. Terrace farming turns a steep hill into a staircase. Planting strips of grass or rows of trees, shelter belts, acts as a natural shield against wind and rain. They're simple ideas, but they have a massive impact. So we've seen it, right? Soil is not just dirt. It's the thin, fragile, living skin of our world, something that took thousands and thousands of years to create, and it's the foundation of pretty much everything. So I guess the only question left to ask is, are we treating it that way? Are we really doing enough to protect this incredible, irreplaceable world that's right here, just beneath our feet?